Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan's vampire horror thriller Sinners is shaping up to really be looking like a cinematic experience worth getting excited about. As if the anticipation for its April 18th release wasn't high enough, Coogler recently gave us a sneak peek. Though some parts were redacted to avoid spoilers, which is actually appreciated, let's break down what this scene reveals about the film's dialogue, cinematography, and acting. If you haven't heard of this film yet, what are you doing? But here's a brief summary. Sinners follows twin brothers trying to escape their troubled past by returning to their hometown for a fresh start, only to find an even greater evil waiting for them. Spoiler alert, it's vampires. That shouldn't be a spoiler, you should know that part already. The clip we're analyzing is called Let Me In. Coogler has redacted certain moments, like I said, to keep surprises intact, but what we do see offers a compelling look at the film's tone and visual storytelling. Our scene opens up with a wide shot of our main characters. We got Smoke, played by Michael B. Jordan, one of the two twin brothers, Annie, played by Wunmi Mosaku, Delta, played by Delroy Lindo, Grace, played by Lee Ju Lee in the background, and Cornbread, played by Omar Benson Miller. The first thing that stands out to me is the blocking. Brilliantly done. Annie moves over into position like someone called in the cavalry, visually forming this impenetrable wall alongside Smoke. This solidifies a sense of opposition, creating a blockade that further reinforced through these framing choices, particularly in the over-the-shoulder shot we see next. Two strong figures, two monumental pillars holding their ground.
What y'all doing? Just step aside and let me on in now.
Why you need him to do that?
If you were to divide the frame here, right down the middle, I want to say there's some visual foreshadowing at this part. On one side, you have Smoke and Cornbread, both connected to vampire blood in some way. Smoke is covered in it, while Cornbread may have it in him. Meanwhile, everyone else stands on the opposite side, to me emphasizing the divide between humans and vampires, or if not really human and vampires. Now that's assuming that actually is vampire blood. It could be human blood, it could be animal blood, it could be anything. So if not that, then that they're connected to the fact that Smoke is in red, plus the closeness might be a sign of a dangerous connection between the two that's about to happen. Now, as realization dawns on Annie, the camera isolates her in a close-up. Then it cuts to Cornbread, establishing a tense back and forth between the two of them. These isolated frames set up a moment of confrontation. Annie versus Cornbread is the message we're getting here. If it were me versus Cornbread, Cornbread loses every time, and maybe with a side of ginger ale to wash it down. Anyways, I'm a little hungry. Smoke catches on next. Another close-up.
Go ahead. Admit to it.
Admit to what?
That you dead.
Cornbread remains in his own frame, separated from the others. Annie reveals what we already thought was true, and the frame reflects that he's got no one on his side. Then we return to these powerful over-the-shoulder shots. The frame is deliberate. Smoke and Annie stand in perfect balance, mirroring each other in power and control.
So you listening to this? Now we out here playing games.
Then comes a bit of a shift. We get an asymmetrical shot of Cornbread, which disrupts the balance we previously had, visually signaling that something is a little off. The space around him feels empty, isolated. He even says, we, probably, potentially other vampires hidden in the shadows as we and not other we humans.
Playing games, telling ghost stories in place of doing what we ought to do.
And what is it we supposed to be doing?
Following up with the low angle shot, this is to showcase to the audience that this is not an enemy that should be underestimated. He may be in a semi-vulnerable position right now, but there's something looming beneath the surface, and we shouldn't forget that.
Being kind to one another.
One of the best frames in this sequence, in my opinion, is when the character spreads out his arms from side to side. When Cornbread does this, consuming from edge to edge, it resonates with me because there was a shot in Training Day when Denzel Washington looms over the frame like a predator in control of his domain. Here, the visual language suggests something similar. Instead of a vulture the way in which I likened Denzel Washington's character, Alonzo, we're looking at a vampire bat. Next, Delta's reaction, priceless. Look at this guy's face. The shock on his face sells the moment entirely. Love it. Then we get a quick succession of shots inside the building, then outside. Both feel eerily empty or vast. But is that emptiness literal, or is it a hint at something lurking just beyond the frame maybe? Or, and I kind of said this before a little bit, so it looks like maybe outside there's more vampires and inside there could be more humans. We do get this quick shot at the beginning of these two. I think they're like a young couple. So potentially more victims maybe inside. Finally, Cornbed realizing he won't get past this blockade, he's not going to get inside. They don't trust him. He asks for his money.
You've been in and out of here all day. Ain't never need an invite then. Yeah, something ain't adding up. Can I at least get my money?
Seemingly giving up, but then we get a menacing close-up. His hands are tightly drawn to his chest, his face hidden. This moment got me. It got me good. The way it was shot makes it feel suddenly like very vicious and unpredictable. Wasn't expecting it to go down like that. Anyways, I'm loving everything about this scene, the acting, the direction, the atmosphere, and especially the cinematography. The camera work is flawless, at least so far, and apparently the film was shot on 65mm, which is supposed to replicate how the human eye perceives images, I guess. I don't think I've ever seen many movies shot in 65mm, at least not that I can remember. So this should make for an interesting, immersive experience when we finally get to see it in theaters. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to comment, like, share this out. And until next time, what's the best recent film you've seen?